Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by for a monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. This is for the month of February, and I am breaking the month down into two different sections. So first we'll look at February the 1st through the 14th, and then after that we are going to look at February the 15th through the 28th. So, those of you who are cross-watchers who are wanting to get insights on your fellow Virgos, you are more than welcome to be here. However, please keep in mind that energies are not reversible on this channel. So what you're seeing is actually a reading that is for Virgo and is about Virgo. If you would like to have a reading about yourself, feel free to check out your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign to get an accurate reading for you. Making room for everything on the desk. I should have done that before, shouldn't I? Okay, Virgos. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is going to be about your environment. So when looking at your environment, it looks like there's a lot of celebration that's going on in your environment, especially during the first part of this time frame. And there's some major transformation in your environment in the middle of the time frame. And it looks like that leaves you a little bit disappointed. So I'm not sure what this major transformation is. If this is people coming or going to your environment, if this is maybe you're changing your working environment completely, maybe there's some kind of change that you made to your home and it didn't turn out exactly the way you planned. You know, there's a zillion and one ways that this can actually manifest. And because this is a video for so many of you, I couldn't come up with all of the examples that's happening here. But we go from really being able to celebrate in that environment to making some major changes and then being a little bit disappointed with the results. Okay? Next thing that we're going to look at, Virgo, is your subconscious leanings. Okay, so what are you thinking about during this time frame? Looks like you have been taking a break, sort of stepping back, not doing everything that you would normally do, and you're thinking about, getting back to work. And I think that you're also a little bit thinking about when you get back to work, there's going to be a delay in actually getting paid because of this time off. And so I think in your subconscious, you're really focused on the idea of ending the break, coming back to work, getting that pay flowing the way it normally flows. It looks to me like you're a little bit stressed out about that delay before pay starts coming back in. So that's what's going on in your subconscious at the moment. Next thing that I'm going to look at talks to me about your learning style and also about your communication style. So I just want to kind of get organized here on the table. Okay, so first of all, let's look at your learning style. I do think that there's something that you're learning in a very solid way. You may be taking a course or a seminar, or you may be taking classes at a university or, on a campus maybe. Well, who knows about campus, but maybe Zoom, but through some type of official schooling type place. Okay, so you've got some information coming in that way. I do think you've also got some information coming in because you're curious, and I think you're picking up information not only from what's being said here, but also from what is not being said. You're hearing some messages pretty loud and clear by the quiet that you're hearing, or the crickets that you're hearing, as they say. And then what else do we have? I think you are researching or studying something that is very new for you, and I think you're getting a lot of information in on it really, really quickly. Okay, now let's look at communication style. I do think you have a rather big circle of people that you're communicating with right now. You may even be emailing to an email list type of situation, or you may have, a group open in some type of messenger application. But there's definitely something here about communicating to a larger circle of people is one of the things that comes up. It looks to me like there is somebody that you're communicating with here, Virgo, that I think you may be actually making some type of threat to them or setting some kind of ultimatum for them during this time frame. I think that there's been some ongoing tension there. You want to clear that up, and you basically just want to bring it to an end. And then also for communication, I do think that you're doing some spirit communication or communication, prayers, however you communicate with spirit, whether you do ceremonies, prayers, whatever. I do see some spirit communication coming up here, and I feel like you're taking some of your burdens to spirit, sacred spirit, and kind of saying, I don't know what to do with this. Will you please take care of this for me? So definitely doing a leap of faith, maybe because you're forced to do a leap of faith. Kind of feels like that's, like you just don't feel like you can handle it. So almost forced to do a leap of faith because you don't know any other options right now. Next thing I'm looking at for you guys has to do with work. And with work, what I'm seeing is that you are doing something that generally makes you feel pretty fulfilled and happy. However, I think there is somebody sort of looking over your shoulder or breathing down your neck, telling you, well, this has to be accomplished by this particular deadline, or we have to do this in this way. So you're not being given full freedom, even though it is something that I think you could handle very well if you were given full freedom, and maybe even more efficiently and more compassionately than without, than with the restrictions you have now. But I think overall you still find this work satisfying in spite of all of that. All right. I also feel like with work, things may be a little bit scattered. I don't feel like this is so much you as much as it's your boss is saying, you know what, we need you to finish this project over here. Oh yeah, and by the way, this project needs to be picked up and worked on. And oh yeah, there's a project over here. So I feel like you've got you're going a lot of different directions when it comes to work. A lot of different new things that you're trying to start all at once, basically, and I feel like that's causing problems. I think that there are things that are falling through the cracks because you just don't have enough time or energy or resources somehow to actually cover all of this stuff that somebody is telling you, oh, you need to cover this, oh, and yeah, by the way, finish up that, and, all of that good stuff. So this series basically tells me that first of all, you want to see if you can delegate some of your responsibilities to someone else who could actually handle them. Secondly, you may want to have a really open and truthful conversation with your supervisor and let them know, I'm not Wonder Woman or I'm not Magic Man. There's only so much that I can actually do, and right now you've got my plate piled pretty high. So, if you can have that type of a talk with your supervisor and have it be well received, that's going to depend on the relationship you have with your supervisor. But if you can be really honest about, there's only so much that I can do, and, I'll bust my butt for you, but, you have to realize that I don't have a magic wand sitting under my desk. All right, so that's what we have for that. Next thing we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality that's being grown or expanded right now. So what we have showing up here is First of all, I think you're in a situation where it would be really easy to be disappointed and kind of have a pity party. I don't think you're going that route, though. I think what you're doing is you're adjusting. You're taking the disappointments that came up in stride, and you're looking at what opportunities are available to me now. You're moving forward with those opportunities and not staying so long in that negative pity party type of energy. It looks to me like this is something that is allowing you to bring balance into your life. So I feel like, by looking at these opportunities, it's almost like you haven't even missed a beat as you move forward, because it's allowing that equilibrium to just maintain and roll on. I do think that there's something going on though where you are you're missing a person. I think you're missing a person as you go through this. And even though you're missing them, you're taking action, you're keeping yourself busy. I think a lot of people may not even realize that you're missing this person as you are moving forward with opportunities that are in front of you. Okay? So next thing that we're looking at, Virgo, tells me about something that you are standing for. So this is something that somebody said something to you about, and you have, maybe they just needed an explanation, or maybe they've actually out and out confronted you about this thing, whatever it is. And so you're standing up for it, you're explaining it, or you're taking a stand to one degree or another. All right, so what's going on, Virgos, is that there is somebody in your life that is very sensitive, possibly even intuitive, definitely empathic. Somebody that just kind of seems to always know. That's funny. I was going to say somebody that just kind of always seems to know how to bring comfort, how to nurture somebody, how to encourage somebody. But Spirit also put in my mind, I also know how to push triggers, push those buttons as well. I don't think for most of you this is somebody that is doing that, although it could be. But this is somebody who, she's very, and for most of you it will be a she, she's very in tune with how people feel about things, okay? Yep. And it looks to me like this person is somebody that is, you've known this person a while. They've been around for a while. And I think that as this person comes in, you're not exactly happy to see them. But it feels to me like this is a timing issue. It's just not appropriate for them to be coming in as a major part of your life at this point. And so I see you sort of stepping back. You're acknowledging that, yes, they've made an appearance, but I see you stepping back from them and not really necessarily inviting them into your life in any sort of significant type of way. Sorry about that interruption, guys. So what we're looking at next is how the other person who you've actually explained this to or who confronted you, how they feel about the situation that you just offended, how they feel about this idea that, you were not really open to whatever it was that this person from the past had to offer. So what they're feeling is they're saying that you are kind of in a stuck position. You feel like you don't really know what to do with the situation, and they feel like you've sort of prevented some type of healing there. And in fact, it looks to me like this person who confronted you about this may even be the person that you said, no thanks, it's not really appropriate right now, it's not good timing. So they're feeling like you're not allowing healing for this situation to come in, and they're not really done checking you out. I think they're going to be still trying to find information on you, maybe watching your social media, maybe talking to mutual friends. But I don't think that this is the last that you've heard of this person, because they're definitely interested in keeping up with what's going on in your life, at least from this point forward for a little bit. Let's look next at your flex point here, Virgos, and this is going to be where things start to change direction for you a little bit during this time frame. Yep, okay, so yeah, we see you basically making some kind of judgment call about this whole idea of somebody coming back from the past that, they're a nice enough person, but it's just not good for them to be coming back from the past right now. And you're making this judgment call about this idea of, them coming back to you and saying, well, let's start things back up again. Let's get things going again. So that's where we see your perspective shifting and changing. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so basically what we have at the same time is we have, this is coming off the rails. You know that this is not a partnership that's going to work. It's not one where you guys can mutually reach each other's goals and help each other out here. And so you are really hoping that by staying disconnected from this partnership, that's what's actually going to bring you more success in your life. It looks to me like you feel like this partnership is not going to bring you any kind of success. So you sort of, it's almost like you really don't have a decision here. Knowing what you know, even though you're probably missing this person, knowing what you know, you just don't feel like getting back together with them is going to be successful at all. So, what else do we have happening here? Yeah. So, it looks like this other person is not the only one talking to you about getting back together, and collaborating again. It looks like other people are sort of hammering you with this idea as well. And I think you've got your defenses up. I don't think that you're ready, at least not yet. And it looks to me like at this point you're starting to soften up to the idea, but later. Maybe this can be something that is brought to the table and given attention again later, but not now. And I think that it looks to me like you're preparing for this idea that maybe you can get back together, but you're in preparation mode. So this isn't the mode where you're saying, you know what, okay, you've worn me down, everybody else is talking to me, I guess I should do it. No, this isn't where you are. This is where you're just thinking, you know what, if I was to partner up with this person, whether it's a business partnership or romantic or whatever, if I was to partner up with this person again, there are some things that I need to do first. And I think you're at that point of, you know what, I'm going to take care of some of those things first. So the next thing that we have is where we see at the end of this particular time frame. And, really what I'm seeing is you're still holding back. You're still saying, you know what, the timing isn't right. I'm almost hearing, I'm sorry, but the timing just isn't right. And I think that this is a decision that you're standing by, and at the same time, I think it almost breaks your heart to stand by this decision. And part of it could be that, you would have given anything at a different time for this to come to be. And so it's heartbreaking that, now the opportunity is here. But also, for some of you, I feel like the heartbreak is in the idea of looking in that other person's face and having to say, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work out right now. And I think that is really hard for you too, and that's causing some heartbreak. Okay? So that's what we've got for that particular time frame, Virgo. I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, we'll look at the rest of the month. Thank you for being here.
Welcome back, Virgo. This time we are looking at the time frame from February the 15th through the 28th. Just a reminder for those of you who are cross watchers, if you want to find what's going on with your energy, you want to check out your rising sign, moon sign, or sun sign, because energies do not crisscross here and go both ways, not on my channel. Okay? So this is a video that is for Virgos and about Virgos. Okay, let's take a peek at what comes up for you now, Virgo. So what we're looking at right now is your environment. And your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. it looks to me like we've got some frustration coming up in the environment. It looks like there are things that you're trying to make happen there that, seems like no matter what you're doing, you're actually bringing forth the opposite of what it is that you want to happen. So, best advice when I see this is that a lot of times when we're manifesting exactly the opposite of what we want, it's because we're focusing on what we're afraid of or our fears. So you want to turn your focus onto something else. It doesn't even have to be onto what you want out of the environment if you don't find that particularly believable to focus on, but focus on something else that makes you happy and take your attention away from whatever it is that has you feeling negative, okay? It does look like you have a lot on your plate and you're handling it gracefully, even though it may feel like it's hectic to you. Other people around you are watching you and feel like you're handling your situations that are on your plate in a very graceful way. So let's look next at your subconscious leanings, Virgos. It looks like there is a situation that you want to talk to somebody about, and this has to do with the idea of partnering up or collaborating together to reach certain goals together. And so you're really thinking about how you can approach this in your subconscious. But the problem is your subconscious is giving this a negative twist. It's looking like before you have even made the offer or talked to this person, your subconscious is already kind of like, oh, but that could never happen. So, once again, we want to point our thoughts into a positive direction so that we can manifest some of the things that we want. And so if you catch yourself thinking in the negative direction, then you may want to, find a way to think about something in a positive way, or think about something that just generally is more positive to help yourself move forward. So the next thing that we're looking at is going to talk to me about two different things. First of all, it's going to talk to me about your learning style and then also your communication style. So when I'm looking at learning style, there's a lot that you're learning right now, Virgos, intuitively, based on your gut feelings, your emotions, and I think some of your guidance is actually coming through in a more intuitive way, coming through from the divine. I do think also there's information that you are looking to pick up, and I think that as you are picking up this information, you're making a very conscious effort to do so. I also think that you are finding information or learning what it would take for you to pay off some kind of debt or some kind of person. You're looking at, what do I have to do that? What would be the exact payoff amount, or what would it take for me to pull that off, okay? So you may be budgeting how to get something paid off as well. Now, communication style. I think there's a lot of communication here where you're talking about your feelings, your emotions, and not just surface level, but some of the deep emotions that you have right now. I also feel like there is a certain amount of focus in your life, and I think you're talking to somebody about this idea of focus and how you want to make focus a more active part of how you interact with the world. And there is some communication going on about money as well, okay? So, money and really getting into the black. If you're not already into the black, this would be about taking on a new project and keeping that in the black. Okay, now let's look at work for you. Looks to me like you are walking away from a work situation that has had you feeling pretty depleted, like you're putting in all the energy and effort and getting nothing back for it. I feel like this is something that you have went back and forth with somebody on, trying to negotiate, trying to get things better. And I think that when you're walking away, it's just done. The negotiations are over. So if you walk away and somebody contacts you and says, you know what, we really actually need you here and we will quadruple your pay, you're going to say no, not doing it. And part of the reason why you're not coming back to this place, even if they do sweeten the pie, is because you already have received an offer for someplace else, and this looks like a nice solid offer to that other place. And so I think you're looking at, you know what, maybe before I would have taken you up on that, but now I've got this offer with another company that they're going to pay me more than what you're paying me when you sweeten the pie. So it's kind of a no-brainer about which choice I'm making here. That's what I feel for you whenever it comes to work. Now, let's look at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. What I'm getting here is that there's something going on with your body that you're not exactly sure what it is. So I think because you're not exactly sure what's going on, what's happening, what's the cause of this different thing going on in your body, I do think that you're going to see some kind of doctor or possibly even a specialist to get down to the bottom of this during this time frame. Next thing that we have showing up, talk to me about those things that you stand for during this time frame. So somebody will have approached you about this, and you may be having to give an explanation, or maybe they're even confronting you and you're literally having to stand up for whatever this is. But let's see what we have here. It looks to me like you're not very excited about some kind of partnership that has shown up on the horizon, and you may have given it a try, but that try would have been very short-lived if you gave it a try. For some of you, I don't think you even started into that partnership before you cut it off. You may have just nipped that in the bud. And so this is what you're standing for, okay? So what else is going on? Well, actually, let's look at how this other person sees you after you've had a conversation about really not going forward with this partnership that you weren't really gung-ho about to start with. They see you as somebody who they feel like, oh, this is probably the person who wanted to do the partnership. In fact, we may be seeing a conversation with the same person we saw during the last time frame even. But they feel like you are passing up a whole lot of happiness, and that, you know, you're not being optimistic enough. If you were more optimistic, then maybe things would work out. And they just see you as, because you're passing up this happiness and you're refusing to hope, then they feel like that's what's going on and why you're not collaborating. So, you know, Virgos, usually if we're not really excited about something like that, it's usually there's a reason for that. So I'm going to say, don't beat yourself up and don't buy into what this other person is saying to you. You are the best, most qualified person to make decisions about what you want to do with your life, with your time, your energy, your resources. Trust yourself. Trust that gut instinct. We saw you using that gut instinct. Trust that gut instinct. I think that showed up last time around. So what do we have going on here during your flex point? Yeah, I think whatever this is with this other person, you're just not doing it. I think that but I'm going to say that for a lot of you, I think you tried this partnership again, but I think that you've sort of broke yourself free from that because you saw that it just wasn't working. Just wasn't working. But I think you're also sort of second-guessing yourself. Like, was that a rash decision to move away from that? I think you're asking that of yourself. You're sort of questioning that as we get into your flex time. I'm kind of wondering, was that a rash decision to move away from that? Also, at the same time, wow, okay, I can see why. Because your self-esteem has taken a hit. Some of these things that this other person has said to you have really knocked your self-esteem down. There's not really any attraction for this person anymore, if there ever was. And, you know, this doesn't have to be romantic, and this could be about a business thing, and this could be about, you know, the idea of partnering isn't attractive anymore either. So whichever way this is playing out in your life. But I feel like because this whole idea is not attractive to you anymore, you're doing your own thing. You're going your own way in a very independent sort of way, but your self-esteem has taken a hit because of this, because there's definitely been some reaction from at least one other person in your life, if not more. I think for a lot of you there's more that are trying to tell you, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you give this a try? Well, because it doesn't feel good to me. That's what you're going to have to tell them. If you tell them anything, you really don't have to answer to them. Now, what else is happening? This breaking free of whatever this partnership was, short-lived as it might have been, really brings you a lot of stress relief. It just takes a whole load off. And it allows you to plan for the future in ways that you could not have planned for the future before. And I think that you're actually really, in a very logical way, you're happy that you made the decision to cut this off. And I think that when you're cutting this off, you may be cutting that person out of your life. You may not be even communicating with them or allowing them to communicate with you anymore if possible, or not anything more than what's necessary at least. And I think that you're finding a lot of relief in that, actually. Now, where do we see you at the end of the month? We see you healing up from some kind of heartache. We also see you feeling very independent, very self-sufficient, doing your own thing, taking care of yourself, as far as financially, as far as emotionally. The thing is, though, that it looks to me like you may be really burning hard or rushing hard when it comes to work, finances, money. I would like to see you be more careful during that time frame and take some time to pamper yourself. You're really pushing hard, and I think that it's because you have some goals in front of you that you really want to reach, and I think you feel like you got thrown a little off track and distracted by this person, and so you've got the hammer down that much more, but what you're doing is you're kind of coming out of balance as a reaction to that, and you're not taking care of self-care. So I'd like to see you at the end of this time frame not leaving self-care out as you're focusing on moving forward and really being that independent, self-sufficient person that it's so easy for you to be, Virgos. All right, so that's your reading for February. Thank you very much for being here. Of course, thank you to all of you who are putting thumbs ups on this video. I'm sure you probably noticed I am doing different things with the audio for this video. I'm hoping this half sounds much better than the last half, but it's a work in progress, so I apologize that the quality is different from half to half. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Thank you for sharing this video. And thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions and Reiki candles from me. I do appreciate all of you, because every single one of you, at whatever level of support you are to me, you are the reason I get to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much. And if I don't see you here for a private session between now and then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.